People are, if we urged people to wear masks and gloves and eye protection regardless, it could help prevent the spread. Here's an example. Asymptomatic person boards a train or a bus. They're not wearing a mask. If they sneeze or cough, which guess what, people? I hate to tell you, this happens even if you're not sick. If you have allergies or dust, we've all gotten food or water down the wrong pipe at some point. It happens. I mean, it's just the way it is. And maybe you already have a cough before you get infected or something. Now you're potentially spreading this disease to everyone you come in contact with. And because it's a novel virus and we have no immunity to it, you're just really, really out there just giving it to everybody. So if they were wearing masks, gloves, and eyewear, first of all, having those things on your face makes you less likely to touch your own mucous membranes, eyes, nose, and mouth. Yeah, sure, there's people who are going to reach up behind their mask and scratch their nose or whatever, which defeats the purpose of having the mask. I mean, it's just the truth. But, if you have goggles on, you're less likely to rub your eyes. It helps deter it a little bit. So when you touch those things, if you're the person who is infected, but you don't know you're infected, and you rub your nose and then touch the door handle, now you're passing that off to somebody else, okay? Having those things in place can help contain some of that. And if you sneeze or cough with the mask on, that mask, it's going to help prevent those droplets from going out and getting to other people. You're going to catch your sneeze in your mask, most of it, and your cough, right? They're actually made to prevent you from spreading illness, not prevent you from getting it. So you have to realize that. So I just think we need to be aware of this. I mean, I'm not saying everyone should go out and start wearing nitrile gloves and masks all the time and everything. But if you've been to an international airport that was still accepting flights from China up until yesterday or whatever, and maybe surrounding areas where there's confirmed cases that came in, then maybe you should wear a mask, gloves, and eyewear to help protect others until you're sure you're not infected, especially if you feel fine and you have to go out in public, because that is where the danger lurks with this virus. The danger is in that you don't know you're sick. So you should be wearing these things to protect others, especially if you think you've had a possible exposure. I mean, and when I say that, I don't mean like if you've been to Wuhan. I mean, if you've been to Wuhan, you shouldn't be going out of your house. You should be isolating yourself from people. You should be self-quarantining, because obviously our government isn't going to make you quarantine yourself. But you came off a flight in an international airport where there was still flights coming in from China. So there's a possibility that you came in contact with someone else who had it, but you don't know because, you never know. So maybe you should wear a mask until you are sure you're not contagious. I mean, it's highly unlikely, but again, all of these little things can help to reduce the spread. So out of all the countries around the globe, in my opinion, the US is the slowest and by far the least concerned sounding about the spread of this coronavirus. And up until yesterday, I was saying, do we know something the rest of the world doesn't? Because we were still allowing flights in. We haven't really done anything. They're just telling everybody, oh, no big deal, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, they're closing borders in other countries. They're, quarantining 60 million people, digging ditches across roads and barricading people in with dirt, literally barricading people in with wood and buildings and stuff and quarantining them forcibly. I mean, we're quarantining people on islands in other countries, cutting off borders. It's just ridiculous. I mean, what did we know? Is there a vaccine already in the wings or something? And we're just, I mean, I'm not trying to paint a conspiracy theory. I'm just asking honest questions that need to be asked, because the numbers and the information available and the reactions of other countries up until now, and then our government's response, do not add up to me. I can't for the life of me understand how our media and how our government can say up until yesterday that there was no evidence of it spreading inside the United States. I mean, sure, we didn't have, person to person confirmed yet, but what do you think? The minute that the virus crosses our magical US border, it's no longer contagious? I mean, don't buy masks, don't buy gloves, don't worry about it, worry about the flu, go get your flu shot. I'm not saying to panic, but we need to be honest and we need to have transparency and pay attention to the details. Because now today, Guess what they confirmed? The CDC confirmed the first case of human-to-human transmission in the United States. And not that long after that, the WHO comes out and declares a global pandemic emergency. I truly hope and pray that all the people out there saying we should worry about the flu more and that this isn't that bad, I hope that they're right. I hope and pray that it does not get that bad. But when there's 5 cases or 6 cases in a country, you have to understand, yes, you can go to a hospital and you can get good care. 5 beds in an ICU is no big deal when it's scattered across the country. These people will probably make a full recovery with the proper treatment. That's not the issue. The issue is when the hospitals are completely packed wall to wall with people hacking, coughing, sneezing. And I'm not talking just about people with the coronavirus. I'm talking about all the people who will get the flu, who will think they have the coronavirus and panic and go to the hospital. I'm talking about every person who gets a regular common cold, sniffle, sneeze, fever, and thinks they have the coronavirus and runs to the hospital. When the hospitals are completely overrun, completely full, all the beds in the ICUs are taken, there's no treatments, there's not enough staff, there's not enough supplies, guess what's going to happen? The death rate's going to climb. And it's not going to climb necessarily because we don't have the treatment or the ability to overcome it with proper treatment. It's going to be because there is not enough resources to get these people the proper treatment. So the death rate will increase. It's not that hard to figure out. We don't have the resources like China does to build a hospital in a week. We don't have that here. It's not going to happen. So when the beds are full, the beds are full. And when panic sets in and everybody and their uncle is in the ERs and the emergency rooms and the hospital, overwhelming the medical system in this country, it is going to be chaos. And people who don't even have the coronavirus but have other things going on, they're also going to see an increase in deaths in those areas because all of the medical staff is going to be so overtaxed that people are not going to get treatment for other things that are going to kill them as well. I mean, it is going to be bad if it continues on this path. Right now, we don't have a full-blown outbreak like they do in China. Most of the epicenter of this is in China. Most of the worst of the spreading and everything is in China. Those 5 million people that got out of Wuhan, and God knows where they went, all the flights that we let in and everything else, we really need to pay attention because these people could be spreading it. And now that the human-to-human transmission is officially confirmed in the United States, if this thing is really as virulent and contagious as it's proving to be in China, we will have overloaded systems and this will be a problem. So what can you do? My personal recommendation is think about protecting others, not just yourself. In other words, don't wear the mask thinking that you're protecting yourself and have a false sense of security that you're invincible. But wear the mask thinking that I don't want to give this to somebody else if I potentially have it. If I still have to go out in public and I have to go to work or school, I don't want to give this to somebody else if I could have been exposed. Keep your hygiene up, keep your hand washing up, all of that. And when the time comes, whenever you feel that it's too risky to continue to go to work, to school, or in public, isolate yourself. Make sure you keep your immune system boosted. There's many, many ways to do this, and you can do a lot of research on the internet to find out, and it's really your best bet. There's elderberry, there's garlic, there's vitamin D3, there's colloidal silver, there's lots of different things you can do to boost your immune system. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm not a doctor. Do your own research, make your own decisions on what's best for you and your family, but those are a lot of the things that you can do. You can add vitamin C to that too. And that'll help keep your immune system boosted. And if you can limit your exposure to it and keep your immune system boosted, protect others, from potential infectious secretions and spittle, because there's a lot of people out there who like to spray it when they say it, then, we probably don't have to go into panic mode. I just don't know. Just keep your head on a swivel.